Hey guys, Manu here and welcome to the channel. In the last video, I reviewed Honda's offering to the maxi scooter market, which is the PCX. And after that, I thought to myself, why not make a comparison video talking about the PCX against its greatest rival here, where I live, which is the Yamaha NMAX. So here we are, and after some serious thinking and recollection of my time with both bikes, I came up with 4 categories where I found each bike has its strengths and weaknesses. Please take note, these are my personal opinions and should be taken with a grain of salt. I am not paid for by any of the brands that I'm mentioning, and I only mean to guide you, the viewer, in making an informed choice if you happen to be in the market for a maxi scooter. And if you have experienced any of these bikes, feel free to post your thoughts in the comment section below to help others in their decision making. Also, towards the end of the video, I'll be giving you quick tips on what to look out for if you are looking for any of these in the used market. Okay, let's start with fit and finish. Since this is a very popular segment, at least where I'm from, and considering how quick Yamaha and Honda produces these bikes, we can't help but wonder which has better fit and finish. In my experience and observation, I find the Honda PCX having the better build quality. The design of the bike itself is very unique and looks premium, and it shows in their product. The way the body is shaped, and the seams connecting the panels, and the quality of the components really stand out and are well thought of. The suspension feels very firm and feels very planted, especially at higher speeds. Now, the thing I noticed the most on the PCX is the quality of its paint. They're not done in a rush, and the way the paint glistens under the sun is very pleasing to the eyes. Now, however, on the Yamaha NMAX, the fit on those plastic panels feel a bit tacky, like some gaps here and there, components that feel lacking in presentation, like the dashboard being too dim and the suspension feels a bit wobbly. The paint on the NMAX looks and feels a bit dry and doesn't really stand out at any light. Yes, pastel and matte colors look cool, but for me, a shiny paint job looks way better. Now, for ergonomics. This is the part that I'm very particular about in any motorcycle, and I think everyone should really consider this before buying your next bike. Now, in my case, the NMAX feels just right, despite having no adjustability in this department. As I mentioned in my review, I like the NMAX's seat because it's very wide and plush, and offers a bit of back support. Now, the reach to the bars is easy even for a guy my size, not too low, not too high. And the amount of legroom for me to adjust my foot position is a big plus. Comfort and ergonomics play a big part on how the bike reacts to your inputs. If the bike feels comfortable to you, the better you are at operating it. And yes, the windshield actually does the job at keeping the wind off your chest during higher speeds, further decreasing fatigue. On the Honda PCX though, I did not get the same level of comfort that the Yamaha has. The bars are too low, putting me in a slouched position. The floorboards are not as spacious, and the seat feels too narrow and sloped forward. Not exactly the kind of seat I want on a bike that's meant for practical everyday use. Alright, performance and handling, probably the first thing we look up in any review or spec sheet on any vehicle. In this case, I would consider the NMAX and PCX at a tie. Why? They may be in the same category, same displacement, similar components, but they're both very different in the way they perform. The NMAX delivers its power in the lower RPM ranges and handles really well in tight urban situations, especially slower parts. Now, that is a big plus, especially the kind of traffic that we have here. The NMAX delivers its power in the lower RPM ranges and handles really well in tight urban situations, especially in the slower parts. That is a big plus, especially in the kind of traffic that we have here. At higher RPMs though, it lacks that mid to top end rush, which is kind of a bummer. Now, as for the PCX, well, it's a bit of a dog at lower speeds, but it's sneaky fast once you get higher in the RPMs. And the suspension is very stable at higher speeds also. So both have their aces in this department. One is a ripper and the other is a speedster. Okay, last category for comparison between these two is servicing and the aftermarket. On the maintenance side of things, both are basically the same. Change the oil, make sure your CVT is clean, monitor your fluids, and you're good to go. After all, these two are made by Japanese companies, no question about that. Now the deal breaker is the aftermarket. Normally Honda holds a huge aftermarket following for their bikes, but in this case the Yamaha NMAX wins. Why? It's been around longer, shares the same block and head configuration with other Yamaha models like the Aero X, Sniper, WR, XSR, MT, and YZF models carrying the 155 engine. You have a lot of options, and if you are into tuning engines, this one has a cult following. As for the PCX, it was only recently that it got a 160cc 4-valve upgrade. And if you check Honda's current lineup, no other bike shares the same engine configuration as compared to Yamaha's. Alright, so if you have reached this part of the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Help me out, it's free. And if you have something to say about this topic, leave a comment. So if you happen to be in the market for a brand new maxi scooter, then consider this as a guide. But if you are looking for a used NMAX or PCX, here are some quick tips on what to look out for. The PCX in recent years has gone through some minor changes, but the biggest so far is the 160cc engine. If you are tight on the budget, I highly recommend the older 150cc model. They're cheaper but are a bit scarce though. As for the 160 version, watch out for low mileage units that have been outgrown by their owners. There are a lot of these, especially 2020 models. Also, I do not recommend the PCX if you are taller than 5'10". It's a bit cramped in my opinion. Now as for the NMAX, all I can say is avoid heavily modified units. Yes, having a bike that has upgrades may sound good, but in reality, those have been compromised already. You don't want to be dealing with maintenance issues or those hidden gremlins caused by an ill-equipped YouTube mechanic. Look for something that is generally stock, regardless of your model. The earlier, the cheaper. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you like it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.